Swellow is definitely one of my favourite early regional birds, so we're going to see how it gets on through Pokémon Crystal. Taillow is a rare example of a Generation 3 Pokémon with a half-decent learn set. We're going to get Wing Attack very early in this challenge, and that should make the first part of this one go very quickly indeed. And it's a normal flying type, so I'm definitely happy to be running it. As we saw towards the end of last year, I definitely became a little bit of Birdkeeper squidgy, and we're carrying that on, at least for this challenge, into this year as well. And while I don't think that the Taillow line has the prowess to challenge a Pokemon like Dodrio, I think it's going to do very well indeed. Let's now take a look at our stats of our Taillow as we start the challenge. We are level 5 this time with 19 HP. We're holding a berry and our moves are Peck, Growl and Focus Energy. 11 in attack, 9 in special attack, special defense and defense, and we've got 15 in speed as well. So let's now get the graphics up and the challenge underway. As always, I'll show you the very first encounter we have with a wild Pokemon, and in this instance it's a level 3 Pidgey. It takes just 2 pecks to knock it out courtesy of a critical hit, and we can start making our way towards Mr. Pokemon's house. While we are chatting with Mr. Pokemon, I do just want to say I have fallen ill again. I've got another one of those pesky upper respiratory tract viruses, so if I'm not sounding at my best, I can only apologise for that. I'm trying to power through, because I really don't want to miss any videos, especially with the fun schedule we've got here in January. So please do bear with me if I sound a little bit hoarse. We're now going to take on the first rival battle, and this time he's going to have the Totodile line. Totodile's really the best of a bad lot for the rival. We can't give him Chikorita, and I didn't fancy giving him Cyndaquil in this one. We grow to level 8 courtesy of the rival, and we can head back towards Professor Elm's lab. We'll name the rival triple question mark as we always do, and then we can start heading northwest over to Violet City. In Violet City there are a few things we need to do, and the first of them this time is going to be going up Sprout Tower. We have Peck and there are a bunch of Bellsprouts in the Sprout Tower, so it absolutely makes sense to take it on first. It's going to give us some much needed levels for the middle point of the challenge, and it comes as no surprise that it was a very easy time ascending the tower. We grew to level 13 against one of the sages and we learn Wing Attack. Wing Attack is a base 60 power move, so it's not a phenomenal move. However, level 13 is one of the earliest levels we've ever gotten Wing Attack, and I think it's going to see us very fit for this first part of the challenge. And talking of the first part of the challenge, we have our first gym leader. This is Falkner, a flying type specialist much like us. He led with Pidgey that's already gone down. Pidgeotto follows suit very quickly, and we obtain the Zephyr badge in 6 minutes and 32 seconds, but remember that is with Sprout Tower. Let's get out of Violet City and we can start heading south towards Azalea Town. The first thing we're going to do in Azalea is catch our HM friends. We are looking for a Paris and a Psyduck here in the forest, and with the challenge run patch we're playing on, they are guaranteed encounters and guaranteed catches. However, there's no way to control when you find the encounter, which is why the timer is paused for encountering the HM friends. It gets everybody on a level playing field then. There's no discrepancy because of the RNG that goes into finding the wild Pokemon themselves. And with both Paris and Psyduck caught for another challenge, we're going to do a little bit of prep work for Rival 2 before we do the gym. We're going to teach Swift over Focus Energy, and then it's goodbye to Growl and hello to Mudslap in its place. I'm not sure if we're going to need either of those moves, but it's always good to prepare. Before we take on the second rival battle though, we've got to beat up Bugsy. They are the second gym leader, a bug-type specialist who leads with Metapod that's already gone down. Scyther goes down in one shot as well, we grow to level 22, and the final Pokemon is Kakuna. It's 3 one-shots to defeat Bugsy, and our reward is a lovely evolution. We say goodbye to Taillow and hello to Swellow in its place, and that means we have earned the Hive badge in a time of 12 minutes and 45 seconds. It's been a very good start for Swellow here, and just before we move on, if you want to take a better look at the front sprite, it's on screen now. Let's now move just around the corner to the second rival battle, and honestly I don't think he's going to be much issue at all. The only time Rival 2's a threat is if you've got a Pokemon either weak to grass or quad weak to either fire or water. It's going to be a set of one-shots to get us started off here. Croconaur's going to be a 2-shot with Wing Attack, we grow to level 23, and we defeat the rival for a second time in just over 13 minutes. That means we can start heading through the Ilex Forest, where the only thing we're getting this time is the cut HM. Unfortunately, we cannot learn Headbutt, so there's no green-haired man staring at the tree on this one. but when we're through the Ilex Forest, we're going to catch our third HM friend. This is Abra, and much like Psyduck and Paris in the forest, this is a guaranteed encounter and guaranteed catch. So now that we have Abra, we'll head north, we'll complete the HM Friends band with Kenya, and then we'll also have a few more bits and bobs that we need to do before facing Whitney. We're going to pick up Dig from National Park. We always pick up Dig here on our challenges. It's going to be a little bit more reliable than the escape ropes. We'll have a little chat with Floria as well, and then we'll cycle into Whitney's gym. She's of course our third gym leader together, a normal type specialist. However, she does have rollout. We're going to start off with a one-shot on the Clefairy to grow to level 26. Here comes the Miltank, rollout critical hits. But even that isn't enough to knock us out. We knock her out in 3 shots and we obtain the playing badge in 17 minutes and 20 seconds. And that is one of our big threats of the challenge already gone. Whitney's Miltank had the potential there to ruin our day, but it didn't happen this time. And we can now start heading towards Ecruteak City. We're going to pick up Rock Smash so that we can get through the ice path a little bit quicker. It also means we can pick up a HP up in the Burnt Tower. And we are going straight over to the Lake of Rage here. Our hidden power type on this particular challenge run is going to be Ground. I was considering either hidden power Fire or hidden power Ice, but I thought hidden power Ground is probably the best because we've got 85 in attack and just 50 in special attack. I can see a universe where both of those hidden power types are very good types. I just don't think it's the one for Swellow on this particular run. We beat up the Kimono Girls, we get ourselves Surf from the man staring at the stage, and now we'll head into the Burnt Tower, where the rival's waiting for us for a third battle. And this time he's going to lead with Haunter. Haunter shouldn't be any threat. In fact, I don't think any Pokemon in this battle is going to be a threat whatsoever. We'll one-shot Haunter with Wing Attack, we don't need Hidden Power Ground for that. Magnemite goes down with Hidden Power Ground, it's 4 times weak, and then we'll swap back to Wing Attack for the rest of this battle now. It's a one-shot on Zubat, a 2-shot on the Croconaw, and we defeat the rival in 25 minutes and 52 seconds. We'll fall through the floor and end up in front of Morty. Morty is our 4th gym leader together. He's a dual Ghost and Poison type spectacular leader, and he's going to lead with Ghastly. We've got Hidden Power Ground and we've got oodles of speed, so I can only really see this going one way. It's a one-shot on the Ghastly, the Haunter, the Gengar, and it's a one-shot on the second Haunter as well. So it's a clean sweep of Morty for the Fog Badge, so we'll move over straight away to Chuck. This is going to be a bit of a rapid-fire gauntlet of gym leaders now. Chuck is of course a fighting type specialist who leads with Primeape. He's fighting, we're flying, we know how this goes. We don't quite one-shot the Poliwrath though, even with the sharp beak, and we end up hitting ourselves in confusion. We do finish it off though, and we get through in a time of 29:40. Let's now take on Jazz. Jazz is going to be slightly less threatening than Price, although both of them are a little bit pesky, I've got to be honest. Jazz of course has a very hard-hitting Iron Tail, and then Price could hit us with a Stray Blizzard. The good thing with Jazz is we only need one Iron Tail to miss. The bad thing is, she takes Secret Potion, so of course it doesn't happen on our first attempt. Let's try again, see if we can get any better luck this time. We know that the Magnemite line's not going to be a threat. We are all about the Steelix. And on the very next reset, we get the miss that we need. That's all we needed to get through this battle. We can survive another Iron Tail, and that means we have knocked out the Steelix to defeat Jasmine in a time of 38 minutes and 15 seconds. Our penultimate Johtonian gym leader is Price. He is an Ice-type specialist who leads with Seal. And just a quick thing to note, we learnt Aerial Ace in place of Wing Attack while we were going through the Rocket section. It's exactly the same power as Wing Attack in this generation, but it's got perfect accuracy. Price doesn't even go for an Ice-type move there, so that was a very, very simple battle. So that's the Glacier Badge acquired in 38 minutes and 58 seconds. Let's now take a trip to the Goldenrod Underground instead of the Mahogany Underground, where we're going to face the rival for a 4th time. He leads with Golbat, who does confuse us, but confusion really isn't reliable, especially in Generation 2. We don't hit ourselves at all, we step out of confusion, we one-shot Magnemite, we one-shot Haunter as well, and here comes Sneasel. Aerial Ace takes it deep into the red and another one finishes it off, and then the last Pokemon is Feraligatr. Feraligatr uses Water Gun, it barely tickles us at all, we grow to level 45, and we're through the rival in 45 minutes. 4 minutes of nonsense later, climbing up to the top of the radio tower, we get ourselves the pink bow from Marie. We'll get ourselves a radio card so we can get through that pesky Snorlax in Kanto, and then we'll fly back over to Blackthorn City. This is where Claire lives, and in preparation for battling Claire, we've got rid of Swift because we've got Aerial Ace and we've taught Return in its place. Let's see how we get on against Claire. We'll easily one-shot all 3 of the Dragonair, so we don't need to worry about Thunder Wave in this particular battle. We can get through all 3 of the Dragonair and turn our attention onto Kingdra. We're going to try avoiding a healing loop here by going for Quick Attack on turn 1. She does of course hit us with Smokescreen, but a Return knocks it out on our 3rd attempt, and we are through Claire in a time of 51 minutes and 8 seconds. We obtain the badge in 51 minutes and 56 seconds. And with that, we've got all 8 Jotonian Gym badges acquired. That means just one thing, it's time to start heading towards Victory Road. So we'll fly back to New Bark Town and we will surf east across routes 27 and 26, and then when we're in Victory Road, we're going to say goodbye to the rival with one last battle. And this time, of course, he's going to lead with Sneasel. We'll one-shot Sneasel with Return, and up next is Magneton. We're still rocking Hidden Power Ground, so that's going to go down in one shot. And the 3rd Pokemon is Golbat. We didn't one-shot Golbat last time, we're making it up for it this time, and we'll use Hidden Power against Haunter. Our penultimate Pokemon is Kadabra. It's got no physical defense, so Return just kicks it into touch. And the last Pokemon is Feraligatr. Feraligatr doesn't survive either, will grow to level 53. We say goodbye to the rival in 55 minutes and 11 seconds. And with that, we're at the Pokemon League, so we're going to heal up whether we need to or not, and we'll say thank you to the HM friends. So it's a big thank you to Kenya, to Abra, to Psyduck, and merci to Paris. Get yourselves some well-deserved rest while Swellow prepares to take on the Pokemon League. And after buying our 4 full restores, which is all we'll need through the league, we'll take a look at our stats. Level 53 with 149 HP, holding the pink bow with Return, Quick Attack, Aerial Ace and Hidden Power. 131 in attack, 102 in defense, 95 in the specials and 170 in speed. Those are the outer battle stats. We get a big buff in battle, as we'll see now against Will. He's our first league member, a Psychic type specialist who leads with Xatu. Xatu goes down in one shot, as does Jinx, and the 3rd Pokemon is going to be Slowbro. Slowbro's a little bit bulkier, but it's still going to be taken out in 2 returns. We've got Xatu number 2 next, that's going to be a single return, and then Will goes out with a whimper instead of a bang, because we'll one-shot his Executor with Aerial Ace. Time of 56 minutes and 14 seconds for Will. Let's move on to Koga. And if I know one thing about Koga, it's that he loves his bug types, so that will give us a huge advantage at the start of this one. We one-shot Ariados and we'll use Aerial Ace a few times against the Fortress. The worst it could do is explode, which it doesn't do on this attempt, and then we're on to Muck. Return is showing its absolute power here. It's a one-shot on Muck. Even the bulk of Crobat goes down in one critical hit, and then we'll finish off Venomoth as well. That was a very simple Koga battle, 56 minutes and 52 seconds. Let's now move on to Bruno, and once again, we're against a trainer who has a bit of a weakness to the flying type. We'll use Return against Hitmontop, Onyx is next. We've got Hidden Power Ground, he uses Rock Slide instead of Sandstorm, and that is the perfect opening for us. And we're now going to have a relatively smooth ride through the rest of this battle. I got a little bit overconfident on the Machamp and ended up ranging it instead of knocking it out. However, that's absolutely fine. He gets caught in a healing loop, we knock it out properly on attempt number 2, and then Hitmonlee's a one-shot as well. Bruno's done in 57 minutes and 30 seconds, let's move on to Karen. She is our last league member, a Dark-type specialist who leads with Umbreon. We don't really mind too much about the sand attack in this particular Karen fight, because if push comes to shove, we do have Aerial Ace. We're going to use Hidden Power against the Gengar and knock it out in 1. Murkrow comes out to play, we'll use Return against it and we get our first miss. We don't miss twice in a row and that just leaves Houndoom and Vileplume left to go. We one-shot the Houndoom, we grow to level 56, and then we'll guarantee the win by using Aerial Ace on Vileplume. Very nice and simple Karen fight there in 58 minutes and 20 seconds. There's now only one obstacle between us and the Hall of Fame. It's time for Lance, the Liar with the Flyers, and he's going to lead with Gyarados. And this is actually a very tricky battle for Swellow. We don't have the physical attack to one-shot the Dragonite, so that means we are relying on a fair amount of luck. It's not a particularly complex battle, it's just one of those battles where we're relying on everything going our way. Sometimes it happens very quickly, other times we can be waiting quite a few attempts. And that's exactly what happened on this one. We didn't get through on our first try, we are doing much better on our fourth try, but then after Aerodactyl, disaster strikes. We grow to level 57 and we low roll against Charizard. Flamethrower takes us down to 20, and then we're going to get knocked out by Dragonite. Honestly, there was absolutely nothing we could do there, we're going to have to take a reset. The good thing is, providing Lance goes for Thunder Wave, we've got roughly a 50-50 chance of getting through both of the level 47 Dragonite. And that's because of the 1 in 4 miss that's hard-coded into Generation 2 for the AI with Thunder Wave, and we are of course holding the Purr's Cure Berry. We critical hit the Aerodactyl this time, so that's one of the bigger threats gone, and we high roll the Charizard. We're in much better stead now for this last Dragonite, it's going to go for Safeguard, and we get Damageless Lance to get through the league in 1 hour and 37 seconds. That gives us our final Hall of Fame time of 1 hour and 53 seconds. We're on a very good pace so far, almost under the hour but not quite, but this is of course only half the story. There's another 8 gym badges plus the red fight left to come, so don't you dare go anywhere. Kanto is next. And we rejoin the action as we always do here in Vermilion City, where the first thing we do in Kanto is the last thing we do in Johto. We're going to get another rare candy, this time from the chairman of the Pokémon fan club. And with that safely tucked away in our pack for another challenge, I'm more than pleased to say that Swellow is capable of taking on our standard Cantonian routing. So we'll start here in Vermilion City with Surge, we'll pop over to Celadon for Erica, down to Fuchsia for Janine, then we'll take on Sabrina in Saffron, Misty in Cerulean, then it's over to Brock, down to Blaine, and we'll finish off with Blue. And talking of Blue, if you do want to skip ahead to the Blue fight, it's going to be happening at 19 minutes and 29 seconds. For everybody else, let's now sit back, relax, and have our standard Cantonian chat. And today we're going to start off with the elephant in the room, and that is that I'm sick again. It's the second time in around about 9 weeks that I've managed to catch one of these upper respiratory tract viruses, and unfortunately it's part and parcel of having a weakened immune system. I'm doing my best to try and power through, because honestly I'm a little bit fed up with them. 2 in the space of as many months is a little bit ridiculous, even for my immune system, and that is quite often why I end up taking a lot of winter off. It's because it's back-to-back-to-back infections, and that means I don't really get a strong footing to start recording my content cycle. At the moment, I'm only running around about a week ahead of myself, so I really do need to try and kick into gear as soon as I've recovered, so that I can start getting a bit of a backlog for the inevitable 3rd infection that will hit. And then the other thing I want to mention is that this video wasn't supposed to be Swellow's Backport. This is one of the backup runs that I've got here for the channel. It was originally played on stream, and I really don't like doing stream replays as main videos. However, the one that I recorded for this particular slot just went all kinds of wrong. It was supposed to be Clefairy in the middle today, but anything that could go wrong in that one did go wrong. And by the end, I was just not happy with the content I'd recorded. I don't think that the challenge run I did was a fair reflection of Clefairy, so I'm going to wait a few months and then I'll re-record it when the run is completely fresh to me once more. For a little bit of context, in the one that I scrapped, we ended up getting the Spadef drop from Psychic 5 times in a row when we were battling Red, and that got me very, very annoyed, so I ended up leaving Silver Cave, going over to Buena, buying another 10 rare candies, and then going back in at level 90, which absolutely is not what I should have done in that one. I do still have the footage for that particular Clefairy challenge. If there's the demand to see that challenge, I will do a very quick edit of it, and then I'll put it up as an extra video one week. Not quite straight away, because A, it's very raw in my head still, and B, I'm not feeling up to doing extra work at the moment. But please do let me know down in the comments if you do want to see that quick edit. I'll hold on to the footage of that worst luck we ever have had in a challenge run. And you never know, in a few weeks' time, when the dust has settled from that one, we may look back at it and find it quite funny, actually, because there's definitely a fine line between disaster and farce, and I think that one got so far that it was just a farcical challenge. Anyway, let's now turn our attention back to Blue. He's our final gym leader of the challenge, and he leads with Pidgeot. We're going to start off with a return, he'll mirror move that, and because the AI has minimum friendship, it barely tickles us. Up second is Rhydon. This is the big threat of this battle. However, he goes for Fury Attack on turn 1. Sandstorm on turn 2 isn't a great move for us, because it is going to be a bit of a drain on our time. However, if we can survive with enough health, we can then try and bait a Rain Dance out of Gyarados. Alakazam goes down in a single return. We're going to use a quick attack against the Gyarados, and then the weather changes to the rain. We'll finish off the Gyarados with another return, and here comes Arcanine. Arcanine for some reason doesn't go for extreme speed, so we'll one-shot with a critical hit, and the last Pokemon is Exeggutor. We're going to try and avoid a healing loop here by going for quick attack on turn 1, we'll Aerial Ace on turn 2, and we are through blue in a time of 1 hour, 16 minutes and 14 seconds. And with that, we have all 16 gym badges acquired. We're going to battle one of the trainers on Route 1 to get ourselves up to level 65. We'll have a little chat with Professor Oak, and then we can start making our way in towards Silver Cave for the final battle of the challenge. This is, of course, Red, and he will lead with Pikachu. The first thing to note is we have 238 in speed. There is not a single thing on Red's team that will outspeed us. However, we have a problem. That problem is Blastoise. We're going to use 3 rare candies straight away. We're not going to survive a blizzard. Pikachu's irrelevant. We're only battling 5 Pokemon. We just got to get through this pesky Blastoise. Blizzard misses on turn 1 this time, and he goes for Rain Dance on turn 2, so we get to see how the rest of the battle goes. Now, we aren't able to one-shot Espeon with Return, and that means he sets up a Reflect. That in turn makes the Snorlax a lot trickier to get through. We get remarkably lucky here, and we don't end up paralysed by Body Slam. However, we're only on 29 HP for the last 2 Pokemon. Charizard comes out, we don't one-shot, and we get knocked out by Flamethrower. Let's use another 3 rare candies, and we're also going to say goodbye to Hidden Power Ground at this point, and we're going to say hello to Curse in its place instead. I really am not a big fan of using Curse, however, it can be very handy when you're a high-speed Pokemon. Look at us now, we can use 1 Curse at level 75, and we're still going to outspeed Red's Pikachu. That is huge. We've now got 317 in attack, and that means that we can 2-shot Blastoise. Up next is Espeon, and unfortunately we don't outspeed it because of Curse. I do think we're on the right lines here. We've just got to be a little bit more strategic with where we use our Curse. We're not going to use it against Pikachu, and we're not going to use it against Blastoise. Both of those are comfortable KOs. We're going to outspeed Espeon, we're going to use Return, and it's a one-shot. Here comes Snorlax, it's slow, so we can use our Curse here. We're just going to use 1, and that takes Snorlax into very easy 2-shot range. We knock it out, and we've got a lot more health now for the Charizard. We still outspeed it, we take it deep into the red, but then we get burnt. That should have been the win there. We just got exceptionally unlucky. And it was at this point we decided to just try and go for it without Curse. Because there are a lot of times where Curse feels like the right play, but it ends up screwing you over, much like it has done on our last couple of attempts. We're back on the Snorlax, and Snorlax is now in 2-shot range, even without Curse. That means we're on full health for the Charizard, and with the pink bow, it is just about 2-shot range. We knock it out, and we've got a very, very easy end to the battle now. It's just going to be Venusaur. We'll knock it out in 2, and we are through Red in a time of 1 hour, 21 minutes and 51 seconds. And that was a very fun challenge. I really love the normal flying types, and that would have put Swellow in 12th place on the main series leaderboard. That is a very, very respectable time. Around about 3 minutes quicker than Fearow, but on the day it wasn't quite in the same league as Pidgeotto or Dodrio. On the Backport leaderboard it's in a very, very respectable 9th place, in between Linoon and Arctovish there, and I think that's probably just about where it deserves to be. It's kind of inevitable the first 3 hasn't changed, and now we've got 4 entries on page 2, with our 3 Gs and then a Bomber Snow right at the bottom. But with that, we are done. So I really hope you've enjoyed this one. If you have, make sure to leave a like. If you've got any feedback, leave it in the comments down below. Subscribe if you want to see more challenges just like this. Thank you for bearing with me while I've been a little bit ill. It's still been a pleasure as always, and until next time when it's Ampharos in yellow, I'll say thanks for watching, and I'll see you all very, very soon.